Hello, universe. It's the 29th. No, is it the 30th? Holy smoke. It is Friday the 29th. That's good. Which means I haven't posted in roughly a week. Probably a week exactly. Or 6 days. I don't really know. I don't really care. What I do care about is I have three or four snippets from the weekend that I intended to follow up with a Christmas Day final thought wrap up. But Christmas Day was a serious day of derailment for me. And I'm not going to get into that now. Instead, I'm going to go ahead and post the weekend snips and leave them at that. And then today I'm going to go through what has been, for me, well, really 3 days of darkness, where I sat and really was forced into a mode of self-reflection about what I know, what I can know, and what I don't know. I don't know where it even came from. I know some of it came from conversations on Christmas Day, so I'll get into that. But whatever it was, it's still impacting me right now, and so I've got to get through it, and by discussing it, hope to move past it. But I'll get into all that in the recording after this one. For now, well, basically, these are my thoughts going into Christmas Day. Enjoy. Pause. Unpause. If you want your 2024 resolutions to work, you really got to start them in about November of 2023. Because you'll only hold on to a resolution if you've gotten through the hard part of convincing yourself that you're worth it and that this is work and effort that will pay off. And the third and fourth week of January are not the times to be having that mental discussion with yourself. Because what you're seeing in front of you are 11 more fucking months of commitment to something that you're already in week 3 questioning whether or not it's worth your fucking time. It won't be. You will quit that shit immediately. I don't care if it's a diet. I don't care if it's a gym membership. I don't care if it's a commitment to a vegan lifestyle. It doesn't have a chance. But start that shit around Thanksgiving. Make your way through the holidays with the ups and downs that come with the family chaos that intervenes, and then find yourself on New Year's Day thinking, okay, fresh year. Is it worth it? Yes. This is the year I will commit to being blank. And then when you hit the week 3, week 4, February lull, forgive yourself. Realize that you've already got momentum going, and then make it through spring and you've got a new lifestyle. One that will persist to the winter months when you'll be challenged for the final time whether or not this is the new you or this thing you did for a year. But why I'm wandering there? Who the fuck knows? Because it's time to go work out. At least to start. I'll be back when I'm panting and sweaty and pissed off that I'm not in as good a shape as I want to be. Hello, universe. It's the 23rd of December, and, well, happy holidays. I'll just leave it at that. Whatever celebration this time of year makes you feel cozy and loved, well, go get more of it and enjoy the hell out of the experience with your family. Even if you dislike them, this year reminds you that they're still better than almost everybody else. So find a way to love your family and your life will be better, but that's something you can't do. Well, never give up. It's amazing what kind of family reunion and reconciliations occur over a lifetime. So perhaps your life plan has something similar on deck for you. You never know. All right, well, there's a minute of sentimentality you'll never see from me again. And actually, that's not true. Well, no, that is true. You'll never see that again. But I came... what did I come armed with today? I suppose the disenchantment of another year looked back upon with the unfortunate need to grab a red pen for corrections look at the things that were not up to acceptable standards and note them as such. Needs improvement. Failed to meet mark. Not even sure what this is about. If you have enough of a run of years that end with more questions than answers, it starts to get heavy. You start to think, I need a win. I need to see a sign that we're bottoming out and making headway toward better. I need to believe in something of valor, or something that is just and right. Somebody standing up for everyone, not just themselves. And how that's going to occur, that becomes the sort of distracted Saturday that leads you to lists of where did we go wrong? What do we need as a recovery mechanism to find our humanity that used to exist? Or is it just the transition of life from pre-technology to immersion in technology? Are we just at that time of history where if you were around for this and then around for that, well, you, my friend, are looked at as the poor unfortunate soul that had to live through the change? Because the change is changing everything. So when you look for what has happened that has taken our humanity from one of grace and empathy to one of advanced potential in individualism, I don't know, maybe that's what was always inevitably going to happen to all monkeys who learn how to put shelter over their heads. Eventually, digital integration becomes the species they are. And once that has grabbed them, well, then it's just a question of how far they can make it go. So with these get off my lawn moments, I thought, well, I don't want to talk about any of this. Instead, why don't we talk about the things that I am individually? Because I never actually explained that I'm 54 years old, that I was born in June, that I have a love for golf, tennis, and anything else that I like to play athletically. But having used most of my life to do things like get distracted by PlayStation, fantasy football, and drugs, well, it's not that I had lost interest in how to make a better world. I just had lost any direction in how to maintain myself in a world that seemed to be getting worse. Everywhere I looked, I couldn't find optimistic upswing of the humankind. And when it finally crashed me enough that I thought I want to leave this planet, well, I don't think that reality was enough to change me. It just defeated me. It put me in a position of thinking, well, if this is all there is for existence, I can't wait for existence to end. Existence isn't a bargain I would want to make again. This was a mistake. How I got talked into this will be the only curiosity I have as I leave it. Because whoever sold me on this, I want a refund. You lied to me. And that was, believe it or not, the first moment of self-worth that I think I ever really had. Because until then, I'd been living my life for all of the external cues and wants and needs of others and never really tended to my own sense of why I'm here and what I can do. It's it's a weird it's a weird shell of insecurity that ultimately is self-defeating. But because I had been really the linchpin of my own disappointment, as my confidence in myself started to take hold, well, I flipped my life entirely. And not in a way that anybody would look at and go, holy shit, man. I mean, a swimming pool in the backyard and on the roof? Fuck yeah, bro. No, that's not why I'm here. I mean, I barely can swim. So I'm here for wildly other things. And because my whole 35 first years of adulthood, saying 15 to 50, were about meeting the expectations that society told me would make me feel worthwhile, and then discovering again and again and again they weren't. Well, the last 4 years, as I transitioned to living exactly as I am, kind, forgiving, and understanding, well, I do not have anything but great days. And so who I am in that life of transition and personal reconstitution, well, that's what we'll talk about when I'm done sweating my ass off on the Nordic track. Pause. Awesome. Okay. Fuck. So I never got back to recording. It's now Christmas Eve. I did do my workout, so that was good. But I haven't done any of my workout today. And because I have to spend most of the day doing family shit, yeah, I'm already behind. But I did want to sign on here real quick to clear up something while I was thinking about it, which is the transition from what you had to say about the world to what you had to say about yourself. And when I was a kid, if all you did was go around talking about the shit that you were thinking or feeling or how everything was working out for you, nobody would listen to you. You would be ignored. You would be asked why the fuck you keep talking, what it is that you think is so interesting about you. Whereas if you had just climbed a tree and captured this ladybug that is now still perched on your shoulder and had a tale to tell, well then yeah, I'll sit giving you my full undivided attention to hear this adventure you've been on. And if you had just returned from culinary school and learned how to caramelize onions and thought, you know what, I can teach you, Mr. Onion Hater, how to caramelize onions. Maybe you'll like them. I would have been able to say to you, hell yeah. But no, I fucking hate onions, so you're off to do that by yourself. But I'm going to go climb a tree and try to find a ladybug, and if I do, I'm going to come tell you all about it. Stuff you knew, like information or knowledge of an even more useful type, well, that was those were the sorts of there was a pride and an obligation tied to having gained some skill or useful information when you saw somebody in need of that information or who could use the development of that skill. Very simple example. You see somebody who constantly battles a slow leaking tire on their bicycle and has to pump it up twice a day because they don't know how to change a bike tire tube. So you give them a lesson in bike maintenance and how to change a tire tube. And then from there, they go on to master the skill and become a more effective bike rider who, in the future, when helping another bike rider in similar circumstance, can pass knowledge on to them. And on and on and on and on. And what's even better is by teaching that person who might have just not had enough curiosity to understand bike maintenance is available on all of the bicycle. Well, once this illuminating thought finally crosses their cranium, they go, well, holy shit, man. Why do I keep paying the bike shop to tune up my bike when I can do it myself? And off into the world of learning bike maintenance they go. Something that just took one moment of knowledge transfer at a moment when they were ready to receive it to turn an entire broken branch into a strong and flourishing part of the tree. And I guess when I go out in the world and I see somebody in need, whatever the need is, I figure if I throw my help in or offer it, that eases their burden, even if all I'm going to do is stand and hand them a tool and then hand them the other tool when they need it and take that tool back. However, you can receive help in a situation in which you are trying to unexpectedly fix something that's gone wrong. There is an energetic transfer of confidence in you, whether that's to calm you down or to give you the idea that you are not alone, or to just have somebody looking over your shoulder saying, do you think you want to use the crescent wrench for that, or should we go get the plumber's wrench? Okay, I'll go get the plumber's wrench. It's an obligation when you manifest as part of the herd, part of the self-conscious, intellectually capable, problem-solving, analysis-driven herd, that as you learn how to fix stuff and do things, that you go help other people know that too. The reason I don't believe in intellectual property is because I feel like all I'm doing is discovering things about the universe that are here to be known. I haven't done anything unique. I haven't done anything even interesting. What I've done is gotten slightly more comfortable in a universe filled with uncertainty. And because I now have figured out something that makes me slightly more comfortable, I'm going to tell as many people as possible, this is how it worked for me. Maybe it'll work for you. Pause. Like, did you know that when you cut your onion with the growth of the root, in other words, cut it the long way instead of across into onion rings, well, you get sweet onion. As you break across the main membranes, you create bitterness and you get a more pungent onion. So, if you are looking for a sweet effect from your onions, cut them the long way. There's some information that got passed on to me 4 or 5 years ago, and as somebody who hates the onion, or doesn't hate it now, but dislikes the onion, considers the onion far below every other pepper that you could possibly ask me if I want grilled peppers, and way far below mushrooms. Well, learning to cut my onions that direction has changed my life when it comes to preparing peppers, onions, and mushrooms. The onion's back in play, baby. So if you are someone who dislikes onions generally, give them a shot. It might work. And if it doesn't, then never eat another onion again. And good luck with that. All right. I got too much shit to do. I got to get in the... I don't even know if I'll be back to talk. I hope so. So let's just say pause. Unpause. Okay, I want to try to clarify something because I didn't state it well initially. So let me see if I can make this quick because then I got to go. But it used to be that when you were telling people things, you were telling people things that would be of use to them. And you were sharing things that you thought might bring them some sense of enlightenment, learning, or growth, or just amusement. If I had somebody come over and say, hey, can I tell you something? And then they were like, I'm talking like a 14-year-old girl. If somebody had approached me or anybody else in 1973 to ask if it was okay if they took a minute of their time to talk to them about something, the only thing you would expect this person not to be about to talk to you about is themselves. Because that just wasn't interesting. That wasn't even topical matter. Nobody gave a shit. Why are you talking to me about you? I don't care. You're not, you hold no interest to me. Now, what might change that? Well, it could be your sister. At which point, obviously, there's some interest in whatever the fuck you're going through. Or it could be your best friend from the time you spent in the military. And since this is the only person who understands you, you've come to have a personal moment about something about you. Or it could be your next door neighbor with whom you're trying to develop a more, a closer and more personal relationship, maybe. But even then, you would want to be careful where you're wandering here. And so what I'm saying is, nobody gave a shit about you. Now, people would notice things about you all the time. People would notice what you were up to or see what you were doing. And then there was a group of self-promoting, important narcissists who would talk about themselves all the time. But you learned who they were and you avoided them. And so the world worked in a way that everything you did was about what you were. You didn't say or show you were you. And as you, the world responded to you. And then you moved through the world without ever putting a billboard of yourself up. Until you were Madonna and then billboards of you went everywhere. So it's not that even people were intentionally demure and self-deprecating. It's that there was no audience upon which to be different. I mean, you could develop an audience, you could have 20 really close friends if you were willing to work your fucking ass off to maintain it. But you'd be doing that pretty much full time. Because having friends then meant actually developing a friendship. Doing things together, seeing each other, having a moment of space-time continuum that is in the same coordinated area. These foundational relationship stones, once laid, offered things like contact on the phone or telegram or smoke signals. But even the effort to maintain contact was something that took time. You didn't just blast out to 1,400 people all at once an update that now everyone knows what I'm doing. And so whenever it changed that what we were sharing information-wise or what we were doing as we were engaging other people with our own offerings, well, if it wasn't interest in you or a connection already established, it was something that I thought would be of value or uniquely interesting to you. Hey, you know what I think you would like? Seeing that you're reading Superman comic books? These X-Men comic books I just bought. Oh, you already have the X-Men. You like the X-Men? What else do you read? I've never heard of Doctor Strange, but I'm interested. I mean, that's how energy used to change hands. That's how people used to become, that's how people used to develop new and more engaging interfaces with the world at large. And now everything's moved to a digital presentation of a self that doesn't exist and becomes more and more reclusive in a world where that which is the real you versus that which is the projected you is becoming unsustainable. And I fear beyond the pale how many disenchanted, unplugged, I don't give a fuck men are being made right now. At least here in America. And according to most statistics, most of them have guns. Pause. Hello, universe. It is, well, shit, man. Now it's Christmas. It's been a long day. I haven't listened to the 16-ish, 17, 18 minutes of weekend chatter as I try to find the energy here on Christmas to do my triple up, final exercise, gift to myself of physical fitness better than I've been in my whole life. Well, at 1:30 in the morning, 1:28 in the morning, shit, I gotta be at my parents' house in 6.5 hours. The workout routine itself is probably 2.5 or 3. So that gives me, 2 hours to record and 2 hours to cry about the situation that I've put myself in? I really wanted to post something on the 24th, so I'm pissed that I missed the Christmas Eve, but the Broncos were such a travesty that, I don't know. I believe in some ways my entire family, other than myself, has been jinxed this year to watch the most mediocre, disappointing, and frankly disinteresting football team maybe since who? Cleveland from the 80s, 90s, and into the aughts? I don't know. I first of all, Russell Wilson, there are 32 teams in the NFL, so he's about the, I would guess, 75th, 78th best quarterback in professional football. And maybe not even that high. But if I were Sean Payton, I would bench him. Now, I'd cut him, frankly. I'd go in tomorrow and tell him he lost his job. Go home. Good luck on whatever team wants to take a chance. And I don't even know what the salary cap hit would be. but it'd be fucking worth it. His play. I can't remember feeling like a player on a professional team that I rooted for had a worse season. And I was here for all those Rocky seasons, all those shitty Nuggets seasons. The Nuggets won 9 games. They still played harder than these Broncos. They're as hard a team to like as I've ever felt attached to. It's like, I mean, I even like Tiger Woods now more than I like the Broncos. Pause. And to be clear, we're talking about Tiger the person. Tiger the golfer will always be one of the people that can sit at my final table when I'm having my, what would that be, my resurrection meal? What was that? Final supper? What's that biblical thing where you have a dinner before they're going to put you on the cross? It's Da Vinci painted it, right? Christ's final supper, I think, maybe. Last supper, maybe. Fuck, I don't know. Pause. And again, I am not dismissing religious beliefs or your religion specifically or any of that faith in however you want to put yourself in a position of being told how to think. That's your choice. I respect your choice as your choice. And thus, I'm not making fun of anything you've chosen. At least as far as religion is concerned.